Hello everybody and welcome back to Southeast by Midwest. Today I have a super fun video for you. Today I am doing a collaboration with a good friend of mine named Laney. She does videos over at Zainey Laney where she does not only kind of beauty stuff. Let me put my glasses down. I don't wear them because they kind of reflects the ring light back at you guys. She does beauty posts like one of my favorite of hers is like her makeup in a movie, where she has side geeks on her channel where they kind of sit beside her and talk with her, and they will talk about a movie together while she does her makeup. I love that series. She also covers like wax melts and things like that. Well, when she got the Grand Hotel Too Faced palette around the same time that I got the Too Faced Sephora palette, and she thought it would be a great idea if we could try to find someone else to get the Ulta palette and do like a collab. We couldn't find someone to do the Ulta one, but we decided to go on ahead and just do it with ourselves. So this is a collab with her. We are in a group called Geeks and Beauties, so I'll leave the link for that group down below. If you want to join, you do not have to like geeky things. If you just like beauty, we talk about beauty. However, if you're not into beauty and you're into geeky things, we talk about that too. So if you want to join, make sure to do that. And if you want to see how I got this look using not only the Too Faced Christmas in New York Sephora exclusive little set, which is, hold on, this palette right here, but also this lip, which is the Too Faced Melted Matte Christmas in New York in Candy Cane, then keep watching. Alright, so I have no idea what look I want to go with, but I am going to just kind of get going. So I'm going to start out with the Urban Decay B6 Prep Primer. I love this stuff, kind of for prepping the skin. I'm going to let that sit for a minute or so, let that kind of soak in. And while that does that, I'm actually going to push it in a little. And for moisturizer, I use the Bioderma Moisturizing Concentrate. I'll link my review of that down below. And I'm actually going to be using two actual primers today. And the first primer is going to be the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. I'm just going to use that in the middle of my face, kind of in the T-zone area, because I do have a lot of pores and texture there. And I do know I kind of want to go with as much of a flawless kind of face as I can. So we're going to use this. And like I said, I'm just going to kind of keep that as localized as I can to this kind of area here. Now I will kind of feather it out a bit, but I'm not going to kind of like dot 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 all over the whole face. So, and just kind of blend it in with everything else. From there, I'm actually going to use the Becca Backlight Primer. I actually really love this stuff. I love the kind of glow that it gives the skin. I actually will sometimes just put this on with no foundation if I'm wanting that kind of like tinted moisturizer kind of effect. I actually prefer this primer over a tinted moisturizer. So I'm putting that all over the face, even including where I put the other primer. And as long as you let the first one soak in a little bit beforehand, I haven't found any kind of like beading or any other issues like that. So brushes that I'm going to use today, these are actually kind of like a first impression of these. I'll probably still haul them later and do a full review, but I actually just got these in the mail. This is the Morphe 687 set. And I kind of didn't feel like cleaning my brushes before doing this, so I thought, let's break out some brand spanking new ones. Alright, so I had to take a little break for a second because the little packaging would not come off the brush that I needed to use for foundation. So I had my husband go and wet my beauty blender for me. Don't you hate it when that happens? So we're going to use the Real Techniques Beauty Blender. I actually really like this. I don't know yet if I like it more than the original Beauty Blender, but I do like it. And I'm going to use a little metal palette to put some Born This Way foundation on. That's the foundation that we're going to be using today. And I'm in shade Ivory. So we're going to give this a shake in case there's any separation. And going to put a little pump on there. By the way, love the packaging for this. I actually have a review of this on the blog too that I'll link down below. So, by the way, this room is currently, like, the ceiling's almost falling from Hurricane Matthew. So if you see me kind of glancing up, that's what I'm doing. And I'm reaching over because I do have my desk still in here, but I don't have really anything else in here. So that's kind of where I'm setting my stuff. So since I don't have anything in front of me to use to set a mirror on, and we're not doing the no mirror makeup challenge, I'll be using the Becca Jaclyn Hill Collab palette as a mirror, just because the mirror on this thing is amazing. So I'm going to dab into the foundation and just kind of dot it and then go in and blend it. And to be honest, I'm probably just going to fast forward through this part, because if you've seen one person put on the Too Faced foundation with a beauty blender, you've just about seen them all. So, I mean, there's nothing real revolutionary about what I'm doing right this second. Alright, so next I'm going to do my concealer, and I'm using the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer in the shade Fair Neutral. In all honesty, if I had remembered, I actually would have used the pink color corrector underneath my foundation, and probably would have skipped the concealer. That's the way that I've been liking to do it, but I kind of forgot because I needed the beauty blender and it kind of threw me off. And now I'm just using the Real Techniques Beauty Blender, or sponge, the Real Techniques sponge, to kind of blend that in. And now I'm going to take the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. I'm going to use the same little beauty blender, and I'm going to dab into that and use that to kind of, not really bake, but just kind of really set that under eye area, and just kind of immediately dust it away. Now let's get to what we'll be using for this. We're going to be using for the eye and like the blush and the highlighter and the contour stuff, we're going to be using the Too Faced Christmas in New York Sephora. As you know, the little eyeshadow insurance is in there, the Better Than Sex mascara and the lip product. We will not be using those. Alright, I'm going to go in first with Cake Batter, which is this shade right here. It's kind of like a light brown shade. I'm going to go in with that, and I'm going to use just like a little crease brush, and I'm going to use that to kind of just lay down a base crease color. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is, and I'm totally still doing this on the fly, I have no idea what I'm doing, I'm just kind of winging it. We're going to go in with Toffee Crunch, which is this darker brown shade right there. I'm going to keep this one a little lower on the crease and not go kind of as far over, and I'm also not going to bring it as high up. I'm going to take Chocoholic, which is this kind of light brown shade over here, and I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to place that one kind of all over the lid at the moment. This is not going to be what stays on the lid, but this is just going to help where I go next kind of have something to blend with. And I'm going to go in with Huckleberry, which is this really deep shade. I've wanted to use it since I opened the palette. So I'm going to try to keep this in like the outer area. Which is very hard because I chose the bigger brush for this. Alright, so I did keep one crease brush, that's like a fluffy brush, blank and kind of empty. And I'm going to use that for kind of blending this. Because with my eye shape, the one that I chose for the dark shade, hang on, I gotta lose hair, is just a little too big for what I want to do. So I'm just going to kind of put it on and then go back to the empty brush and use that to kind of fade it in how I want. It's all about using what you got. I don't know what it is about this side, but this side likes to go way more blown out and smoky than this one does. I'm going to go in with Pound Cake right there, which is the one right above the Huckleberry, and it is just like a nice, like, super frosty pink shade. But it is a very, 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 very crumbly, so you're definitely going to want to make sure to knock that off. And I'm going to blend that shade into the darker shade. Sorry about that. I figured my camera was about to cut off, so I was preemptive and went on ahead and cut it off and then cut it back on. We're just going to keep kind of going back into pound cake and just kind of layering it until it is as bright as we want it. Alright, so I'm also going to go in with like another little fluffier brush that has nothing on it, and we're going to use that to kind of blend the edges instead of that first one. Alright, I did find a bit of a smudgy brush. It is a little bigger than I would want, and I'm going to bring that Huckleberry shade, that dark shade, I'm just going to tap lightly into it. Alright, for my inner corner, I'm going to use Desserts on Me, which is this like kind of white sparkly shade, and I'm going to use this on like a small flat brush just to kind of get that like super iced effect to it. Ooh, loving that. And I'm going to use that same little brush to go back into pound cake a little bit, just to kind of let the inner corner meet the outer corner. Go into Glaze, which is a matte white shade right there, and I'm actually going to take that under my brow bone. Speaking of brows, let's do those real quick. Since this has its own little mirror in it, I'm just going to switch to this for the moment. And this is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist. I actually did a video on these before, and it comes with its own little brush. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to contour, and I'm going to use this like little angled brush from the Morphe set, and we're not really going to contour like strict contour. I am just going to go into Chocolate Soleil, which is in the palette, tap off the extra, come back to this little palette, and just kind of lightly dust that on and blend. Before I move to the blush and the highlighter, I should have done this before the bronzer. I'm going to go on ahead and curl my lashes and put on my mascara, which is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I'm now going to use the big fluffy brush that I used at the beginning for the powder. I've knocked all the powder off, and I'm going to use that to go into Chocolate Covered Strawberry. I absolutely love the blush that is in here. It is an amazing shade. It gives a nice little flush to the cheeks, and I'm not going to use a lot. I'm just going to dust a little and just kind of bring it back a little bit. Now for everybody's favorite part, highlighting. There is a nice little highlighting brush in here. This is actually the whole reason I got the set, because I did not like the highlighting brush that was in the other set that I had. So I'm going to go into the inner light that is in here with this, maybe this brush, because it's a little flimsy. So you kind of have to go in like this and kind of knock at it to get it to kind of get on there. And we are going to highlight. Okay, I totally just went in with the white shade from the Becca Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm just kind of laying that over the top because it did not give kind of a icy as of a look as I wanted it. Alright, before we do lips, we are going to do setting spray. I do not like to spray setting spray when I have my lips on, because it kind of makes them, I don't know, I don't like the feel. So we are going to be using the Urban Decay All Nighter. I know it's not the best for my skin type, but that's what I got at the moment. And for lips, we are going to be using, also from the Too Faced Christmas in New York collection, the Too Faced Melted Matte Lipstick in, I want to say Candy Cane, yes, is the name of that. I'm going to give you a little swatch on the hand real fast. It's just got the typical doe foot applicator. And it is just a nice, just really red matte. I've actually already worn this. I'll be doing like a full-on review. I'm not going to tell you whether I like it or not. I'm just telling you that I'm currently using it because it goes with this set. So there you have the finished look. Hopefully you like it. If you did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to share it with your friends, especially since I'm collabing with Laney. Make sure to kind of share it so that we both kind of get some love. Make sure to go visit her video, which I'm going to link down below as soon as I get the link for it. Make sure to leave me a comment down below about what you kind of want to see next. Now, I'm only waiting on one product from the whole Too Faced Christmas collection to come, and that is the Grand Hotel palette. After that, I will have everything. I've already reviewed the Sephora exclusive. So let me know in the comments down below which one you want to see next. And I'll make sure that that's one of the first Too Faced Christmas collection reviews that I put up. So until next time.